I think there's great value in learning an instrument, especially if you have young ones. Teach them instruments, man.
Just invest in yourself, man. Whether it be from a person that you trust with your sound, that's going to give you the ultimate sound that you want to achieve.
So you know what I'm saying? So some artists don't know what headroom is, and some producers don't know what headroom is. But it's kind of, you got to leave that headroom in there so people can, add their vocals. And then once you take it to mastering and, mixing and then mastering, so they can, because it's going to get raised up even higher. So if it's already at 0, I mean, it's going to be, stuff is going to start distorting and clipping and everything. So I think it's important, but it's not necessary.
I'm trying to tell them, Hut, I've been different.
Yo, Green, we got one, homie.
Time to take the cloak off, family is the bad guy. Woke up aggravated on my bad side. Separate me from them, I am the franchise. Close circle, damn right, I am anti. Coming back for what's old to me, been an OG.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. I go by Kash, aka Exec P. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've been on here, man. Let me let y'all know a few things that's been happening. I dropped the album Decorating Time, so I wanted to actually take the time to promote the album and do all the things necessary to make sure that thing streams wonderfully and people have been responding. So my bad for not being all, letting you guys know while we were taking a break, but it was summertime, sports is over, all those different type of things that we talk about. And it's been a little bit of a lull, but I got some independent artists on the way to interview. So guys, we'll be back every Tuesday, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can definitely believe that a podcast will be ready in your queue to start listening to again. And the first of that iteration of podcast to review is we started a production Cypher. And that's what I think we're going to keep right now as far as the name of it. But my man C. Jones and Mars Native, they have joined the couch just so we can talk about just a few things in the production space and things that we're seeing from our perspective, from an artist perspective. So we tackle it from all angles. So without further ado, man, I'll introduce my man C. Jones Sound and the Mars Native to the show.
What's up, brother?
Chilling, man.
Peace.
Chilling, man. How y'all?
Good, man. Good. Just chilling, man. Day to day, producing and engineering, bro. Trying to get it in,
Yeah, man. Fellas, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. Mars, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling good, feeling healthy. You know what I'm saying? Eating right, living right. You know what I'm saying?
For sure,
what's
for
up.
sure. For sure, man. So a
What's
lot
up?
has happened since the last episode, man. What's going on in y'all world and y'all music space? I see Mars, you opening up, producing for people. Jones, you sync licensing and stuff offline. So I've heard it all behind the scenes, man. So where you guys at with your respective careers and things that you're into in the production space?
Well, first off, congrats on the album, bro. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for letting me get behind the boards and put my hands on it as far as mixing and mastering. So
Appreciate
that was a big
you, man.
opportunity. So
Appreciate you.
no, I definitely appreciate that. But as far as, like I said, like you just said, sync license, trying to get my publishing company straight. So, because a lot of majors in the sync license biz don't want to, touch stuff unless it's published under a company and so on and so on. So just trying to get that, all the legal paperwork and stuff straight. And then, and then of course it's back to the music. So
For sure.
that's what I'm working on right now. So.
All right. Mars?
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, I'm just right now I'm putting a collection of instrumentals. I have like hundreds of instrumentals just kind of sitting there collecting dust for no reason. So I'm gonna put like a some compilations together of instrumentals and release those after mixing and mastering them. And I'm also my family's here visiting. My pops is here. You know what I'm saying? The one who gave me the musical genes. So him and we've been working on some music. It's going to be something very different. You know what I mean? Because he put his hands in it. He put his hands in the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
His style is very different from mine. So it's going to be something different. Yeah.
Man, that I can imagine, man. That's like probably like a dream come true to just work with your pops in that type of space, man. I saw a video with y'all on there the other day, man, and it brought back some memories because my pops was recently here for Father's Day. And, he was driving me crazy in the studio with like just mashing on stuff and like, what does this do? Like all this stuff was like new to him, seeing some of the things and, but it was lovely explaining it to him. He was just, his mind was blown with stuff that was so simple, man. So I could imagine how that felt for you.
Yeah. It's fun, but at the same time, it's also like, he's a controller and I'm a controller. So it's
For
it's
sure.
a little it's a little bit of this going on. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, make the drums like this. I'm like, I don't want to make the drums like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's all
Same.
good. We're gonna make it work, man. You know, I'm not gonna pass this opportunity up.
For sure. Same here. I was trying to
That's
make
dope,
some
man.
sounds for him and
That's
his
dope.
DJ, like his pads and stuff like that. I was like, yo, we mentioned something to him, me and another DJ at a barbecue we were at, and man, he took that thing to heart. Man, I need you to make these sounds. Oh, that ain't the sound. I need you to cut it off here. It's the reverb is. I'm like, oh my God, man, you got me in here like really trying to cater to something. I thought this was just a simple take the sounds off your iPad and give you the sounds individually so you could plug them into your pad so you could just play them, as opposed to bringing this monstrosity of an iPad to the set. You know what I mean? But anyway, man. But yeah, it's fun, man. Just being around him and just his enthusiasm still for music. You know what I mean?
That's dope, bro. That's dope.
Yeah, man. But I want to stay in that mixing and mastering lane though. As me and C Jones was talking about making an album and just kind of all of the back and forth we had to go through with making the album. It was mostly, I think 100% of it was 2 tracks that would be corrected in the next iteration of whatever I do. But you know, not 100% of it was 2 tracks, but a lot of the things and the issues that I found from an artist perspective as I was making the album was like, you know, the sound was just extremely varied all over the place. Some producers had mixed beats. Some producers was just coming in super duper hot, just letting it rock out. It was the instrumental that they played on their BeatStars or however they advertised. And it was kind of all over the place, which led me to believe that, you know, do producers really get their stuff mixed before sending it out to somebody to give headroom for an artist? Do they care? Do they know to do that? And, you know, that kind of sparked this topic. You know what I mean? So whoever wants to kind of lead that off in terms of, you know, from an artist and from a producer perspective, what you should do when you are working with other artists to be able to make sure that your beat gets placed.
Well, I'll be brief because I know Mars is more of a recording artist. So, you know, me producing, I'll just kind of give what I think. I just kind of think it's based on the capacity that the producer wants the venue of his music to be kind of, I wouldn't say recording in. So if you're like a BeatStars producer and, you know, the artist is straight up taking that instrumental and going and then recording on it, I think to a certain level, you got to leave a little bit of headroom in there, at least like 4 to 6 decibels of headroom so they can put vocals on top of it. But most artists are used to rapping on top of beats that are zeroed out, beats that are already mastered. So, you know what I'm saying? So some artists don't know what headroom is and some producers don't know what headroom is. But it's kind of, you know, you got to leave that headroom in there so people can, you know, add their vocals. And then once you take it to mastering and, you know, mixing and then mastering, so they can, because it's going to get raised up even higher. So if it's already at 0, I mean, it's going to be, you know, stuff is going to start distorting and clipping and everything. So I think it's important, but it's not necessary, because if artists release their music straight to YouTube or SoundCloud, and a lot of them don't care about mixing their headroom. So I just kind of think it's what you're mixing for, but my professional answer for professionals would be something different, you know. But for modern, I would say modern music, just getting it in and out, man, it's going to be hard to try to get a producer to mix stuff to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? Because their job is producing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Audio engineering is totally something else, you know, so... You know, that's how I'm going to enter in, but I'm sure.
So my thoughts on that, like, you know, I think I'm definitely all for headroom. You know what I'm saying? If you're marketing your stuff so people can actually use it for recording, whether just having fun or, you know, they're trying to do a professional gig with it, just put the headroom in there. It doesn't take a lot of work, you know, and you don't need to be a professional mixer or a professional, you know, mastering engineer. Just turn the fucking shit down. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, it's like, you know, it's an easy one. But if you're putting beats out there just for people to listen to, like what I would do is I would put the beat out there, zeroed out, right, for them to bump to, and they be like, oh, I want this. And when you sell it, you give them the the track with the reduced decibels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they can actually rap to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was getting to is like the next time around, whenever I make an album or whatever I'm doing, that'll be what it is, whether it's from a production standpoint. Here's the one that you can get mixed and mastered. Here's the one to just ride around, bump to, playing your phone, however you do it to get your vibe going. But definitely don't use this one, because if you are getting it mixed, if you are putting it out, it's going to sound terrible. Make sure you use this one. And people can mix it. There's workarounds for it. But why make it more difficult on whoever you're asking to do your engineering?
Right.
You're independent artist.
Right.
And a lot of independent artists, like, you trying to keep costs down. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't understand for the life of me why you would try to make a job more harder for the engineer, who is probably like your lifeline.
Exactly.
Your lifeline to making your shit sound presentable, because whether you're doing it for SoundCloud or whether you're doing it for people to hear you, you want people to hear it. Like, there's people that would turn your shit off just because it sounds terrible. As
Definitely.
Right.
it sounds like, and not that you're not saying the dopest shit. Like, you got to be extraordinary to get past that mental block of people not hearing music the way they're used to hearing music, which is professionally mixed or mixed by somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. You know, whether they're in the industry or just somebody who does it as, an independent mix engineer, you know what I mean? And I think it's important for the producers that are bedroom producers, and no disrespect to that, you know what I mean? Or you doing it because you have a community of people that like your beats, is to make sure you educate yourself on the process. Why would you continue want to do things the wrong way just because that's not your thing? Don't mean you don't need to elevate your sound, because you want your track to sound as you made it, as it intended. If certain things are missing, the snare ain't knocking the right way, the bass in it ain't knocking the right way, that's because the mix engineer had to do all these different type of magical tricks to make it sound the way it sounds, so that the artist likes it. But it's gonna take something away from the beat, and why not give your beat the best possible chance to shine? So that's all I'll say on that. I
agree.
You know what I mean? I just want producers to educate themselves on it. Don't shy away from the education piece. Just because you good and people want your beats, don't mean stop educating yourself on sound.
Yeah, man. Make it easy for yourself. I was gonna say, make yourself like a product that people want to come back to. You know what I'm saying? You give them an already well-made product, they're gonna keep coming back to you. If you keep giving them work that they have to go work on, then they're not, they might go find another avenue to get some music and stuff like that. So just help yourself out. Learn to mix. You ain't got to be a master in mixing, but learn to mix, man. Learn to make space for vocals. You know what I'm saying? And your life will be a lot easier.
For sure.
I think it's I think when you look at, like what you said, Kash, the term bedroom producer, like I consider myself a bedroom producer as well. So I think the thing is that a lot of us, we're not Metro booming. We're not, 808 Mafia. So like those guys could concentrate fully on the production aspect of it. And they got in-house engineers that will come in and clean up everything for them. Some of those guys are actually pretty good engineers as well too. But I think it's very important for the bedroom producer to figure out how can we get a quality product to the artist, because we don't have that team of engineers behind us. So, you definitely got to go into the engineering aspect of it to get a quality product to an artist. And strange enough, man, talking about Headroom, like I gave an artist 2 choices. Well, I give 2 choices. I always, I do a listening mix, that's zeroed out and mastered, and I do a recording mix. The artist wanted to rap on the listening mix because they said, I can't feel the other joint. It's like, bro, like
you know what it's gonna sound like, bro.
Like you're not,
But I think sometimes because they're not getting their music professionally mixed and mastered, because a lot of times it's gonna go straight from their ears. So, they want to be able to hear the thump. They want to be able to feel it, and they don't understand that a master and mixing and mastering process is going to add all that to it. But if they're not getting their stuff mixed and mastered, then they're like, I need
the thump comes later.
Yeah. The thump comes later.
Exactly.
It'll come later.
The thump comes later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think it's all parties probably
Yeah.
need to educate themselves, because I think a lot of people are just used to being mixed horribly and don't know no better. And
Yeah.
I've on the podcast, I've said it to people behind the scenes, and after that, all hell broke loose, or they just stop talking to you because they don't want to hear that feedback. You know what I mean? So I stopped
It's
giving
really that bad?
I stopped giving unsolicited feedback unless you ask me
Damn.
for it. You know what I mean? Because there's there's a lot of albums that come out, a lot of independent artists I have to listen to, and I'll be like, yo, this is so good, but it sounds so bad in my car. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's just you know what I mean? I wish, on my iPhone or something, if I'm playing on a speaker, it's cool.
Yeah.
But in my monitors, in here, like I really take the time to pour a drink and listen to y'all shit so I can interview them. And then when it sounds like that, and I know that, they care about those type of things, but you rather cut corners and not pay I ain't say you got to pay somebody, because people that do work for free or they just want to work with you, you can find them. But sometimes they just, I can do a quality mix, right? I can do a quality mix and master with what I know now. You know what I mean? But I'm not a mix master, and I'm not to that point right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I can give you I can give myself a quality mix. It's gonna take me a lot longer, 2-3 days to get it just where I need to be, where I'm just focusing on just mixing one day, mastering the next day. But that's the kind of time I take into it. I don't believe everybody has that ear for sound. They're just used to output at this point. And I think that's what it is. It's like, I just want to get as much out. And if it sounds passable,
yeah,
cool. It's a win.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say the same thing. A lot of them are just focused on making something and putting something outside. You know what I mean? So people to hear, like it's more about quantity nowadays than it is about quality. You know what I'm saying? And unless you have, like you said, somebody who knows what they're doing, or you take it to a professional studio to get mastered, it ain't gonna sound, unless you take the time. Like, I've never been to a sound studio to get my shit mastered. Never. Like, everything I've done myself. And you can hear from the first, second, third album, the quality getting better and better and better. That's because I study, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in no rush, but that's just me. But if you don't have that patience, pay somebody. Find somebody, pay somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's worth it, man. It's worth it.
You would be so more grateful, artists. You would be so more grateful for the final end product, because number two, when you have a real mix engineer as C. Jones Sound, and they really care about what they do and they're passionate about it, sometimes they do stuff to it that you wasn't even thinking about as the artist, and you like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh, maybe I shouldn't sound warm on this part,
right?
Maybe it should be mixed this way. Okay, I wasn't even thinking about it like that. Like, it's a partnership with all parties involved, whether you have a separate mix and master person. You know what I mean? So that's what
I agree.
Go ahead.
And what you're talking about is basically, their relationship that you're describing with an engineer and an artist. I think that's somehow forgotten, because a lot of artists, if they record in a studio, they're getting a rough mix. And like I said, that rough mix is going on SoundCloud or whatever. But taking your art to another level and working with an engineer is dope. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why Jay has it like that. Like, their relationship with Guru is because it's important. It's just as well as Jay's relationship with producers. You got to have a relationship with the guy that's in charge of your sound too, because not only is your sound the music that you're rapping over, but it's the product that you're putting out. So, it's double fold. I see it like that, So.
Yeah. So, I mean, my last thing on this topic really is just, just invest in yourself, man, whether it be from a person that you trust with your sound that's going to give you the ultimate sound that you want to achieve. You know what I mean? And listen to albums that you really feel like are masterfully produced, and use that as your muse to get you to wherever you want to be. But don't keep settling for less because of a number, man. People are willing to work with you more often than not. It's just that you guys gotta get out of your. Everybody got different issues. If you could pay $100 a month, if it costs $1,000, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it costs, you can, whatever you can manage. There's ways to work it out with different mix engineers. Everybody ain't got it. You know, I
Oh, yeah.
understand that. You know what I mean? But
And also,
man,
know your limitations too. Like if you don't have an ear, don't keep pretending like you have an ear. Like give it to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are naturally born with like these ears. You know what I'm saying? Jones got good
Yeah.
ears, bro. Like your mixing is incredible. You know what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
that,
But if you
man.
don't got that, or you can't build on that, give it to somebody. Don't waste your time.
yeah, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like
Yeah.
I did again, I did 3 to 4 tracks on my EP earlier this year, but I did okay. I don't think it was bad. I did okay. Like, you know what I mean? But okay is not good enough for me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes you got to know that, hey, I don't have the time to learn this. I want to learn it eventually and put the time in. But while you put the time in, use professionals that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
true.
I'm
Right.
saying? And if you can, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, that's all. I'll leave it at that, and that's my thing for that topic, man. But I wanted to move into you know, kind of more the musicianship and staying on task with learning your craft and things like that. You know, you got all sorts of producers out there. You got people that play instruments, and what I'm seeing is that's kind of dying off. You know what I mean? It's not spoken about as much. What do you guys think about the just learning an instrument or learning whatever tool you have in front of you nowadays? Is that something that's being more devalued?
I'm going to be brief because I know Mars, when we talk about instruments, he plays everything. I just kind of play one. So, you know, but far as this is what I think. You know, a lot of producers out, they don't play any instruments. Like I think Murder, the producer, you know, Murder Beats, man, he said he don't play any instruments and he got hella #1 hits. You know, but you know, and you look at the flip side of it, you know, Pharrell, he started out, you know, self-taught, you know, and basically he learned music theory. He taught himself, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that you have to know how to play an instrument in this modern day and age to produce a hit or to produce an album or to produce anything. I think it can further you when you're in the studio with an artist and, you know, you talk about change ups and audibles and options like, okay, this song is in D minor. I want to switch to G major. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't do that with a loop. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually you can, but you're limited as well. But you need to know what you're doing, how many octaves you need to shift down to get it to, you know, the right note and stuff like that. So I think, you know, music is music. The dying age of it, no, you know, there are more creative ways to make music now, but there's always going to be, you know, you got to come back to the basics too, though. So, you know, that's just my input on it.
All right.
I think there's, you know, I didn't start actually, you know, learning an instrument till I was 28. Yeah, 28. You know what I'm saying? But I was making music since like 19, 20. You know what I'm saying? I was producing a lot. So I already had the ear. You know what I'm saying? I always had a piano. Even though I didn't know what I was pressing, I knew what I liked to hear. You know what I'm saying? So I would find it. But after I started studying music and understanding music, it's like a whole another door opened up. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of my music now has piano and guitar in it, you know, and it just gives you so many more options. And not only that, the discipline it takes to learn one instrument. It's something that feeds you beyond music. It teaches you discipline. It requires you to stay disciplined. It requires you to stay on it when it gets hard and when you get frustrated, you hit walls. You know what I'm saying? The mental fortitude it takes to keep going back to that and punishing yourself until you get better. That can translate into a lot of things, into life. You know what I'm saying? So I think, is it necessary to play instruments to make music? No, it's not. A lot of producers, especially like rap producers, don't play nothing. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
as a human being living life on planet Earth, I think there's great value in learning an instrument, especially if you have young ones. Teach them instruments, man.
I agree.
Like I think nowadays, like it's getting underappreciated. You know what I'm saying? And especially with the ease of music making nowadays, I can go on Logic right now and click, and the whole song is done, son. It's finished. you know what I'm saying? It created the melody for you. It stayed in key. Got the drum patterns for you. I'm like, damn, this is too easy. You know what I'm saying? So my concern is that people won't want to play an instrument. They're like, why would I want to play an instrument if I could just click on this? You know? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. So
That's a good or bad thing.
That's kind of what I'm getting into right now as I'm learning and starting to produce. It hasn't been a long time for me. I probably say I started taking it serious about a year ago, close to a year ago. But that's been my main thing, is to learn my instrument. To me, MPC is an instrument. You know what I mean? Or
sure is. Yeah, for sure.
So to me, that's a. But my thing is, once I'm all in. I need to learn every piece or part of this instrument until I move on to something else. Once this thing is like the back of my hand and I'm on there and it's like, whatever I'm doing is I'm speeding through it and I'll get to a comfortable point. Okay, maybe it's time for a top of the line synthesizer that I've been staring at. You know what I mean? But I no longer want to jump to different things and learn different things until I learn the instrument that I have, because you can do a lot of different things, like you said, with technology nowadays. And why not use that to your advantage? Do I think you need to learn an instrument? No, but man, when the folks come in, I'm thinking about Killer Mike's album. I don't know if y'all both listened to Killer Mike's latest album, but the instrumentation on that album is phenomenal, and that don't come from just going in on Logic and moving things around. That's real movement, that's real sound, that's real feeling, and I don't think you could duplicate that. You know what I mean? So I would actually opt for people learning the instrument or bringing in, different parts, people to play the flute, people to play guitar, piano, and all that stuff. If the budget allows for it, you know what I mean? And even nowadays, man, the budget don't be too much to bring in certain people to play keys on certain things. Like they're a lot cheaper than you think, because they are being devalued in terms of people having all these gadgets at their disposal.
Right.
So, but do you have a leg up on learning music theory? Absolutely, because I think I was watching, I've learned everything through YouTube, or I'll hit one of YouTube up and ask you a quick question. Aha moment hit where it was like just giving me the different A minor goes with this one, and G minor, if you progress into this, it goes with this one. So I was trying to make a beat switch, right? But I wanted to make the beat switch sound seamless. So I had to look up how can I achieve that? And being that these two, I forgot what exactly what I was going into.
Like the majors and minors.
Yeah, but I was trying to
stuff. Yeah,
right. I was just trying to find the right one to dive into, because these beats in my ear sounded very similar, but I wanted to make sure that it would be a great transition, and it was based on my ear. So I was like, okay, I just need to learn a little bit more about that so that I could be confident, because I hate being in the room with people who know what they're talking about and not know what I'm talking about.
Doesn't that feeling suck?
It's the worst. It's the worst.
That alone would be motivation for me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember one time I was producing, I was in Germany, I was producing. Here's the flip side to that. I was producing with somebody and she plays keys, and I told her, come through, yo, you can play, come through. Let's, you know what I'm saying? She came through and she was playing some songs that she had on her notes and all that. And I was like, I bet. I was like, I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't understand anything, right? I was like, can you play to this song? And I played the song, and she's like, she's like, I can't really play to that. She was like, the key you're in doesn't have a lot of places to go. You know what I'm saying? That's her mind. But I'm like, I heard it. So I was like, well, let me try something. Then I got on there and I started playing. She's like, how'd you do that? I'm like, I heard it and I knew where I wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying? So there's different ways to go at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's the bonus of being kind of, you don't know how to read music yet, and you just kind of playing what's in your mind. I think that's the bonus of that, having that on, versus a person who's been playing forever. Because like me, I can read music now, but majority of my life of beat making, I've been on the keys, just going through, and I was playing chords, and I what I was playing. It sounded good, so I put it with that. So now that I'm doing, like, I'm merging the two. Like, okay, I'm in G minor, or okay, I'm in a diminished chord set now. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that that someone can come up with something in their mind, but the thing is that letting that come out on the real keys and letting that be a natural sound, like I think that's where the battle is with a lot of people, because a lot of people have melodies in their mind, but they can't play them. You know what I'm saying? So I think merging the two, okay, I'm humming this and I'm gonna play it right now. That's my thing. So that's how I usually I produce. You know, I wake up and I'm like, damn, this melody been in my head all night long. Boom, you know. So that's how I usually go about it. You know, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think the art of understanding music theory is going anywhere. And to you, Kash, if you ever have any issues putting chords together, look up the circle of fifths. Trust me.
Okay. All right.
The circle of fifths. Circle of fifths.
Oh yeah, I got a good application you could leave right on your computer for you too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Circle of fifths, man.
It helps. It helps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And it'll show you if you want to make a song in a certain key, whatever. You just you select on that same app. You know what I'm saying, with the circle of fifths. You select which key you want to play in, and it'll show you on the piano which keys you should play and which ones you should not play. It makes it that much easier for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're still learning. Yeah.
Okay.
There's plenty of apps out there, but I'll share the one I got with you. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Okay.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think the keys are so dope because, obviously I'm a key player, but I think, getting a bass guitar, and Mars might fight me on this, but getting a bass guitar to sound like a bass guitar on the keyboard is key, or getting a flute to sound like a flute on the key. But you can do it if you know how to play the keys, if you can swing them the right direction, So I think the keyboard is like, it gives you a lot of options to do a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But you just got to know what you're doing to get it to sound like the real instrument that you're mimicking, so...
Yeah. You can finesse it. But something about them strings, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's the flexibility of the strings. Yeah,
you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why.
It's like, what
that's what I said. That's why I said Mars might.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I got
like
a
D
curveball.
on a piano is just a D. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Cool. No, I just got a curveball question. What are y'all currently? What is some of y'all go to? Hardware, software, what are you guys kind of leaning towards right now in terms of just your current production workflow?
Hardware? I mean, I can show you the hardware.
I like their stuff. I like what Arturia is putting out right now as far as keys. Contact got some dope libraries too, but I really dig Arturia and Contact. So those two,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I got the Arturia Keylab 88 right here. I got it because it got the pads, the 16 pads on the left, you know what I'm saying? And it got your mixes right here. And the keys feel nice, you know what I'm saying? They feel like an actual piano, because not only do I make music on here, I practice on here. So I want to practice as if I'm playing actual piano without, I don't like the way keyboards feel. Like they feel like a toy, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my joint right there. And it saves me space. So I took the MPC off the table because after a while, I was just using the MPC for drums. So now I got my drums and my keys right here on the keyboard. But Arturia, boy, them mugs got some sounds, they got some instruments, they have a lot. I don't know where the hell they came from, but I'm glad they exist.
They're having a sale right now too, 50% off. No plug from Arturia, but they're having a sale right now on sale.
Oh. That's a hard plug.
I love a sale. I love a sale. I love a sale.
They paying this dude, man.
And then won't use it for 6 months. Next thing I know. Hey,
I know,
you heard of this
Kash,
thing?
you be buying everything, son. You be getting anything, man.
Deep pockets.
Nah, man. It's just, I go in, man. When I'm interested, I go in, man. It forces me to learn. I get to it on my own time. I'll be enamored for like a good 2 weeks, and then after that, it's back to business as usual. But man. But for me, I probably I'm probably learning more stuff right now. I'm trying to like these contact drum patterns from different artists that are making right now. That's kind of something that I'm utilizing to just kind of get the drums to where I want them to be. And then that's if I'm taking a lazy route and I don't necessarily want to do the drums myself. You know, and I got the different
What?
variations on
No,
it.
just fine.
Oh
Yo,
yeah,
the drums are the most fun part, bro.
it is fun. I mean, I haven't used it a lot because since I got a little bit better on the MPC with drums and sounds and stuff like that, and even in there, utilizing music theory, you know, knowing what drums sound good with what sample. You know what I mean? Because I'll work with sample-based music, so just knowing what drums sound good with that, and just finding a different drum sound for me is easy. But Kareem Riggins, I don't know if you know, he's done some stuff
His stuff
for Jay Dilla. He's on whose album Black Milk. I don't know if you have rock with Black Milk. He just dropped the album. He's featured on there on the drum. So like he has like a little app. I forgot. I think it's just Kareem Riggins drum something. But yeah, man, you have a nice sample, you got a nice melody going, and you think you can get some fly ill drums to it. Throw that thing in there, man, and it adapts to whatever tempo you working in, and you go from there. You know what I mean? Cater the sound to what you want to. There's a lot of different things you can do with the drums. You can make it sound boom bappy all the way to airy. You know what I mean? It just really depends on what you're doing on that particular track. So and then I think I plugged it the last time we met, but Tempo is another drumming app that's fire. That does a lot of the same things. Some things better than the Kareem Druggins set or whatever, but they have I think I forgot the name of the company, but I won't plug them. Anyway,
I think it's Teletone.
Teletone is the company, and they got a lot of different cool bass. They got a bass plugin, I believe. They got a guitar plugin, you know, and that's if you just on the computer, you don't have no keyboard, you don't have no MPC, you don't have no drummer. If you just want to make it straight from your computer, that's just another option. You know what I mean? So I like to have.
That's how I used to do on Fruity Loops, man. That's how Fruity Loops was my shit for a while when I first started. Because I didn't need. Yes, sir.
I would not peg you for a Fruity Loops user like at all.
I agree.
I was cooking on everything, yo. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't, you know, because at the time, matter of fact, did it start with Fruity Loops or the MPC? I think it started with Fruity Loops, and then and I felt good because I heard that Ninth Wonder was using Fruity Loops. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, this is legit. Right. I can get with this. You know what I mean? And then but I was like, who are my favorite producers? What are they using? Of course, they're using the MPCs. You know, Pete Rock and Jay Dilla, they using MPC. So I went and bought an MPC, the 2500, brought it home, played with it for like 5 hours, and brought it back.
Oh, word!
I don't read instructions. I don't read manuals.
You don't read. Oh, so you one of those? I just want to get right.
Yeah, I'm one of those, bro.
Yeah,
I've never read instructions for anything that's sitting back behind me, and but I turned that shit back because it was so frustrating, man. I was like, how do I put the sounds in here? But I went and bought it back. I bought the same one. I bought it back. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. Yeah, thank God I didn't, man.
Yeah, I doubled down recently. Yeah. I doubled down. I made another purchase. I sold my MPC 1 for the Live 2, and then I got the X here. That's like the brainchild of the whole situation when I want to have everything at my disposal, and the Live is when I want to get out the house. You know, now that I'm retired, I can get out the house, go to a coffee shop, you know, a Panera.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Bang out, eat, just chill out at lunch, you know what I mean? And live the comfortable life, you know what I mean? So
hell yeah.
You know, is it necessary? Absolutely not. But a lot of the things that we have in our studios are not necessary for us to produce.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But I'm in love with Logic, though, man. I love that drum machine designer. That's my go-to for programming drums. Like, I'm in there all day switching out samples. It's so easy to switch out a kick, hi-hat, everything. I'm like, I love Logic's setup. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
You use the empty kit?
Have I used the empty kit?
Use the empty kit?
You know what? I use the.
Is that what you use?
I've been using honestly, it's a kit called Chopped Up in Logic. It's like in their secret kits and shit. That shit is super dope, especially for like lo-fi shit.
I gotta try that.
But I've heard the empty kit. It's like a live room drum kit.
No, it's like totally empty. It's like a literal empty kit. Like you open it and it has like the 16 pads, and you take you look through your files and you just drag and drop it in there. Then you could tailor each kick, snare, hi-hat, whatever to the way you want it, because you can compress it right there in the empty kit. You can shorten the wave right there in the empty kit. So I like that empty kit. blank canvas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's exactly how it is in the NPC. So it's no different.
Right.
I'll support, like, so for different people that teach me stuff online, I'll go support their plugins, their kits. It just depends on whether it's quality, of course.
That's what's up.
I'll go in there and support it. And it's a guy named AJ Hall on Instagram. Like he does like individualized drum kits. Like he plays live, records it. So like if you want something from him, you can hit him up, see what his price is, say whatever type of sound you're looking for. If you're making a certain type of project, he sends you some drum breaks, some one shots, and so I went there and I utilized his. But even then, sometimes you come bring them in, you put it on your pad, but then you tweak it to your liking. You know what I mean? If it's too open, may close it a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of dope things that you could do. But same exact thing on the MP that you're doing with the empty kit. And I almost start every project with an empty kit, unless I'm just trying to, get on the MP, use a drum kit that's from the Akai store, just to get my creative juices going. Like sometimes it ain't all about starting something from scratch, because, as you know, Mars, sampling and C. John, man, it's like once you find that sample, man, once you get too fixated on it, man, and it seems like you don't leave it. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just like to work with sounds. And I think I'm becoming more of a sound guy as opposed to sampling guy. Like I like to make music with my own canvas, so to speak. Yeah.
Plug.
That's the best way to do it. And that way
it's Canvas Music Group. Yeah.
It's hard to duplicate it. But what I like to do as well is, like, with the empty kit, I like to save, like, if I make a track and I call it, like, whatever, Streets, I'll save that drum kit. I'll call it like Streets Drum Kit. So every beat that I make, and if I make one next week called like Dark Sun, I'll call it Dark Sun Drum Kit. So I save all my drum kits from my
Interesting.
productions. You know what I'm saying? So that way
I start fresh every single time.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
Well, I start fresh too, but I like to save my drum kits though, because sometimes I just like to go in and with an already made drum kit and just to get an idea.
And just drop it in there. Got you.
Yeah. So.
And then you go replace the drums later. Like, I don't like this kick.
Exactly.
Replace with a different kick.
Yeah.
I should start doing that. I don't do that. I don't have like a default drum kit. I always doom, 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 boom, bum, boom, boom.
Oh, no, man. That's a lot of time.
Drag it over. Pop, peep, pop, pop, pip, pop, drag it over.
Save your drums, man. Save the drums, bro.
It's rare where I'm not saving the different drum kits I use. Like, if I make a dope beat, I know these drums was knocking on there, that's immediately what I'm going back to say, to go back to make another beat. For sure.
Workflow, man. Workflow, baby. Got to save them kits, man.
Yeah, I probably need to take that idea myself.
Yeah.
Make the drum loop and then replace the drums if you need to. You know what I'm saying? I need to try that.
Yeah.
Because what I do is like I make like a melody. Go ahead.
I say most time you'll need to, because you want a fresh sound on every joint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's good to have a starting point. Like if you got a beat, if you got a break beat in your head and you just want to touch the pads and just go, you already got a kit.
Yes.
My Dark City drum kit, I'll change the kick and the snare out, but I'm already in a place right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's smart. That's smart. Sometimes I just want to bang on some drums and I have to go sit there and select the drums. It takes another 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have to find the right kick and the right snare and put it in the right key so it sounds like it fits in the beat. And that takes time. Then I go play the drums. And by that time I could have lost the idea,
Yeah.
So that's
where to be for me.
Yeah.
And that's why when as soon as I hop on like the MPC is what I go to the first thing to make beats. Like that's the first thing I go to. And then I'll go to whatever kit. It don't even matter if I like the sounds in the kit. I'll just go to the kit. Do whatever I do with the kit just to get creative juices flowing so I can hear sounds, so I can start vibing. And half the time,
that makes sense.
Beat, what I don't like from them kits or whatever I ended up not liking, I end up making something I like because it forces me to be creative with just these 16 pads. That's all I have is these 16 pads. And once I make something relatively good in a 4 to 8 bar loop, Then I'm looking for another kit that's in another, G minor or whatever that can go with it. Or in the same, I'll add a different kit and then I'll start adding different sounds. And next thing you know, I got something of my own, you know what I mean, on something that's what it's designed to do to help you to kind of learn. And then after that, man, it's all bets are off. I'm up all night trying to find different samples at this point and chop stuff up. And, you know what I mean? So, but definitely save those drum kits, man, because you're gonna come back to it countless times.
Save the drums.
Yeah.
Save the drums. Yep.
Hashtag. Just gonna create some shirts that say that shit.
But
What I
yeah,
need to
man.
do is create a whole like a whole like a what you call it. I don't even have a template, bro. Like I don't even do templates.
Bro,
I'm making like all myself.
I have a whole mix template, man, because I can't come in sounding ass. If I can't feel it.
I have
If you've
a
been
vocal
using,
template
kits.
and I have
Okay.
I have a vocal template.
Go ahead.
And I have a just a vocal template and that's it.
Okay. Vocal
Yeah,
template.
everything else. I always start raw. I like it raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But in all seriously, like if you have songs that you have saved in Logic, you can go into the kits and you can just save them, bro. You don't have to start from scratch. So all the shit that you've made already,
Yeah, you're right.
save
Yeah.
the kits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yeah. I'm after this fucking podcast, straight up.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So save the kits. You sending me that app or whatever. And you send,
Yeah.
Jones, you don't owe me nothing after this podcast. So we good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You
we
owe me
good.
something, though.
Circle of Fifth, baby. Circle
come
of
on,
Fifth.
man. I do.
Circle of Fifth.
I do. All right.
I ain't gonna bring it up. I ain't gonna bring it up.
Yeah, we won't bring it. We won't bring up the game for now, man. I'll tell you what, man. I ain't doing nothing tonight. I'll probably this podcast will come out here very soon. Maybe not tomorrow, but Saturday for sure. What I'm thinking, I'm gonna drop 2 this week just to let them know I'm back active doing podcasts and stuff like that. So this will probably drop Saturday just to whatever people doing, and then kind of get back in pocket with the podcasting. But I got some time. But the podcast is coming out tonight. I got some time. So, I'll cut this out. Before I go, any last things that you guys want to pop in? We got about 10 minutes left or so. Any rapid fire topics that's been on your mind or anything that you want to let the people know about?
I'll say
a popular myth.
Go ahead,
Okay.
John.
You want to go ahead? Go ahead, Mars. Go ahead. Oh, you?
No. Go ahead. Yeah, mine is
All
just
right.
I always take some shit like personal, whatever. Well, go ahead.
Okay.
Not from you. Like just music in general. Like I take shit personal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to go. I'm gonna get on a rant.
I just want to touch on something that Kash talked about earlier, like the professional mixing and mastering. A lot of people don't know is that you're going to pay a lot more for that beat than you're going to be paying for professional mixing and mastering. Like mixing and mastering rates are really decent if you go look up your favorite engineer on Engineers or something like that. I mean, other than the guys that are in the industry, I'm not talking about Ali and Guru, but a nice professional mixing engineer in your area, his rates are probably real good. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to be way less than that beat. That's all I got to say. It's, having that professional sound is achievable, for a low rate. My rate's on Engineers. So, but,
great. And then listen. Be humble enough to listen. If you don't know shit about mixing, be humble to listen. You know what I mean? If some of the stuff we said in here, not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but I'm learning as I go as well. And definitely if somebody's telling me something that they're more knowledgeable, I'm going to listen. I'm not going to always think that my mix is the greatest. If somebody says, yo, just send me the raw vocals, send the raw vocals. Trust the engineer. The Vox that you have on there, they'll put it on there. They know exactly. Your Vox isn't anything that's revolutionary. We'll get that sound back on there. But just listen to feedback, especially to people that know what they're doing. It doesn't matter whether they're older or young. If they got more experience in this thing than you, then you have to humble yourself and listen. The ultimate goal is for your music to be jamming, right? So, I'll leave with that.
Basics.
Yeah.
And just keep it interesting, man. Keep the music interesting. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't feel like you have to stay in a corner, stay in your lane. That's the wackest shit you could ever do.
Mhm.
Get out there and let's make fucking rap music good again, hip hop good again. I'm about to get me one of them fucking hats, make rap music good again, great again, boy. You know what I'm saying? But get out of your shell, man, and try something different, man. Try something different. You know, don't try to fit in with everybody else because then you sound like everybody else. You get drowned out in the ocean of fish. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a shark. You want to be nah, fuck that. You want to be a fucking killer, a killer whale. You want to be a killer whale in the ocean, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, get creative, get weird with it. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, fellas, man, this is a good time at end of the month. Every month might be our time. We'll figure that out in the background, but at the very least, guys, that you guys has listened, if y'all like this type of conversation, it will be at the very least once a month that we'll be doing these. If we do additional, we'll definitely let you know and give you a heads up. So go follow at don'tsleep_net. That's where you can find out the latest updates on what we're dropping. And that it'll be right there. And go subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you like it. Rate it 5 stars. Anything less than 5 stars, I got some questions for you. And I also need some comments in there because that's how these algorithms move on Apple Podcasts. Why am I on Apple Podcasts? Because that's where most of you podcast listeners go to for the most part. So go in there, share a comment wherever you listen to the podcast, put a comment on there, put a rating on there. It'll help us increase our chances of reaching people of like-minded, what they like as far as the music goes. So we'll be back next month or sooner. Just depends on what's going on out there in the producer landscape. So we out.
Found my passion again, one with the pen. Made my way back home, careers don't actually blend. Built myself from the ground up, sacrificed my peak.